What's the most ridiculous or bizarre rule your parents enforced while growing up? Relevant context is that I never stayed in the same room from when I was a baby until I went to college. I was allowed to put up anything I wanted on my walls. Posters, stickers, drawings, maps, whatever, no rules other than that if it went up on the wall, it stayed. Things that mattered to me when I was 7 were on the wall right next to the things that mattered to me when I was 17. When I was a teenager, I kind of really hated it. All of this stuff is dumb kid stuff. To which my mom would say, I guess you used to be a dumb kid then. As an adult, I really appreciate it. I had a whole time capsule of everything I thought was important as a kid. My mom boxed it all up and has it saved now. The first drawing I was really proud of, the poster from the first concert I attended, a few sports posters, and ticket stubs, and everything else. Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't change a thing. My parents are pretty much hoarders, so we would get in trouble for cleaning. My mom always blamed our house being messy on her just being too busy, so once in junior high I thought I would surprise her and have the whole kitchen clean when she got home. I cleared all the piles off the counters, threw away a bunch of decades-old magazine, and took out like 2 giant bags of trash. When she got home she was not pleased, but panicked, and promptly went digging outside in the trash can to bring the stuff back in. We had a rule that I couldn't leave the house with wet hair because my mom believed I'd catch a cold. It didn't matter if it was summer and 90 degrees outside. Juice always had to be watered down to 50. It wasn't a bad rule, save calories and money, but it totally blew my mind when I found out that other families drink orange juice full strength. I oversalted my fries at a diner when I was about 7 years old, and they were too salty to eat. My mom forbid me from using salt at home for the next 11 years because of that one incident. Yes, I'm aware that's fucked up. My parents had this rule where I wasn't allowed to go outside with wet hair. Due to my extremely superstitious grandmother, you can't wash your hair on your birthday. You see, when people die, you wash your hair to honor them or something. Therefore, if you wash your hair on your birthday, then you might as well just jump off a bridge or walk into traffic. She lived to 96, so maybe she was onto something. I had a 7:45 p.m. bedtime until I was 12 or 13. Middle of the MASH rerun, off to bed. For a long time, I thought the last 15 minutes of MASH were somehow more adulterous than the first 15 minutes. You can't trim your eyebrows. Why? Well, in ancient China, if you were some sort of criminal, they would shave off your eyebrows as part of the sentence, so the world knows you're a crook. Therefore, trimming your eyebrows is the same as murdering your next door neighbor with a hammer. Couldn't wear pants, only long dresses. That includes swimming BTW with like basketball shorts underneath. Also, that means no pajama pants. Only nightgowns. Wasn't allowed to cut my hair. Words like pee and poot were bad words, and God forbid you said something like fart. There's many more, but just to name a few. I had underwear and socks with days of the week. I was banned from wearing the wrong day in case of a car accident because the paramedics would see the weekday and think I hadn't changed my clothes in days. I could only watch 2 episodes of Supernatural per day because it was too dark in high school, but I watched CSI, NCIS, Dr. G Medical Examiner, and House MD in elementary school. I couldn't listen to THNKS FRTH MMRS by Fall Out Boy because it was about the apocalypse coming from an atheist perspective. But I could listen to Soulja Boy's Crank That Soulja Boy. I couldn't read Anne Rice because she temporarily left the Catholic Church, but I could read any other book without it being checked, which meant I read a violent sex scene in an adult crime novel at 8. I couldn't have ice cream in the house because she'd eat the entire thing and then get mad at me for having it. My stepmom couldn't help me wash my hair at 5, but she, my bio mother, could share a bath with me until middle school. I'm probably forgetting a ton. We weren't allowed to call it a coffee table because even saying the word coffee was somehow antithetical to my mom's Mormon values. No saying no. As long as someone asks kindly, you have to say yes. 10-minute showers. My dad actually installed a device that would beep at the 8-minute mark to let you know you only had 2 minutes left, and would cut the water at exactly 10 minutes. No napping after school. BC, I did nothing but sit in a desk all day. Legit treated naps like some sort of sin. FCKN hated it. No birthday parties, celebrations, or gifts after you reach 12 years old. Birthdays are for kids. But that was only my mom, to be fair. When my sisters and I were 10, me 9 and 7 years old, we were told that my mother should not have to lift a finger to clean our house. In the meantime, we're in elementary school all day, have homework, and are young children, for God's sake. Even my mom didn't work except for the occasional holiday season job. I know my mom loved us, she was just way too wrapped up in her own misery to be a good mother. I always promised myself not to be like my mom with my own children. My mom said that guests that me or my siblings brought over weren't allowed to use the washroom upstairs, they had to use the tiny one in the basement without a lock. We also weren't allowed to offer them food or drink, except water. Her hope was to make sure that we were seen as bad hosts so that our friends wouldn't come over, and ideally to her ditch us entirely so we could focus on studying and nothing else. My dad. I wasn't allowed to bathe myself up until I was 12. Why? Because he is a narcissistic pedophile. My dad was insistent my family not have any bread products over Passover, but kept expanding the definition of bread every year. What broke me was when my dad said we couldn't eat French fries because they looked like bread.